Hola guys, how are you? Welcome back to our podcast, Stitch Talk with Okra. And in this podcast, we talk about all beautiful things related to knitting and crochet. And if that's something you're interested with, this place is for you. I'm your host, Karen Ruto Sapir, a crocheter, designer, entrepreneur, and the founder of Okra Knit. This podcast is where we unravel the beauty, the chaos, the creativity, and the business of yarn. Whether you knit, crochet, or just love handmade things, this space is for you. Even if you want to learn also, this space is for you. We do not lock out anyone. As long as you're stitch curious, you're most welcome. So we have been talking about creating a brand from scratch, managing a brand, marketing a brand, and just ensuring that your brand is well set up for success. Yeah. So today we are going to talk about the handmade hustle. Yeah. It's not just fun and games over here creating pretty things. You also need to figure out how are we getting that bag. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So basically turning passion into profit. So yes, you enjoy knitting, it's therapeutic, it's lovely, you make creative and beautiful things. So how do you earn from it? How is that going to pay your rent? How do you make sure it does? So yeah, we're going to talk about that today. So I'll start by saying knitting and crochet as a business may not be for everyone. Yeah. Some people just prefer knitting and crochet as a hobby, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine. Some people see crochet and knitting as therapy for them, and they are not able to balance the therapy side and the business side. If they try to do it, the business side becomes very stressful. That's what one of the members of Pick and Knit, our community, mentioned. She said, I usually don't sell because it's very stressful. How am I gonna price? The back and forth with clients, I just prefer doing it as a hobby, gifting people and stuff like that. Yeah. But how would it be if you're able to monetize your hobby, something that you enjoy, something that you really have, a good time with? How beautiful would it be that the hobby that you don't even need to condition your mind to start doing is earning you money, it's paying your bills and stuff like that. So yeah, it's something to think about. Yeah, but if it's not for you, it's not for you. And we're gonna start by the most important thing, which is something that messes up a lot of creatives. How do you price handmade products? I get a lot of questions being asked, how do I price? How do I price? How do you price? How do you price? And I'm usually like, you price the way you feel like pricing, because you are the one who created the item. You know how you would want to price it. But I understand where a lot of these questions are coming from, because sometimes you may be, confused by, now if I price this, am I pricing too much or am I pricing too little? There's that complex that usually comes when it comes to pricing. You had decided you're pricing that hat at 4,500, all of a sudden it's 2,000. How did it subtract 2,500 to come to 2,000? It's because there's an inferiority complex, or just a fear that I'll not be able to sell. A fear that I'll not be able to sell because I'm pricing too high. Now that fear comes if you don't know the people or the market you're targeting. I've talked about this very many times. If you don't know the market you're targeting, you're just waiting for anyone to come and buy, you'll have that fear. Why? Because you'll find that a lot of people you'll attract are not your market or the market that you're supposed to be targeting. So you'll get a lot of rejections compared to a lot of positive feedback. Yeah. Rejections, example of rejections are like, that's too expensive. Huh? Only for a hat. That's too much for a hat. That's too much, you know. But then positive feedback will be, oh wow, that's worth it. You made it yourself? Oh my god, yeah, that's definitely worth it. Let me just save up and then I'll look for you when I'm able to afford it. Then that's positive feedback. Another positive feedback is, oh wow, I'll take it. Oh, 4,500, the hat. Kindly pack it for me. Oh, I want it in also another color. Can you do custom orders? Yes, that's positive feedback. But negative feedback always has the words to make yourself doubt yourself, yeah? They always have the attacks of kwani inakuja na nywele, kwani inakuja na, like, those are the things you will avoid by being clear on which market you're targeting. So for example, I am targeting high-end clients. High-end clients means clients who value handmade and they will pay whatever price you mention for handmade products, okay? So if I tell you a hat is 4,500, they will not question, they'll give me 4,500, okay? And add delivery fee on top of it, okay? So that's high-end clients. Now there's someone who is probably targeting students, maybe because they are also a student and they live around a student's campus. So if you tell a student that I'm selling a hat for 4,500, they'll look at you like you're crazy, because 4,500, if you add 2,000, it equals to their hostel fee for a whole semester. Imagine your 4-month rent for a hostel equals to one hat. The student will look at you like you're crazy. But if you tell the student this hat costs 1,500, they will say, okay, I can manage this, yeah? So you need to know who you're targeting. And once you identify who you're targeting, you need to know how to ensure you equate the value of what you're pricing. For example, if I am charging 4,500 for the hat, yeah, I'll be careful on which yarn I'm using, yeah. Even if I use locally made yarn, how am I gonna make it better, yeah? Probably I will double strand. Probably I'll use a mix of very nicely going together yarn. Probably I'll use stitches that look a certain kind of way, advanced stitches, yeah. So you want to ensure that this person gets the value of their money by also thinking and being like, okay, I actually put a lot of thought into this design, so it's worth the money that I'm giving, yeah. But now for the person who is selling for students, or the target market is students, and they're making the same hat, they will not be able to have time to think about all these things. Why? Because the return on investment is very little. So the time and also the thought and also the investment that they put onto the hat should not be too much past what they are getting, the return on investment they are getting. So they will go for the cheapest yarn, they will go for the simplest stitch, and they will go for a monochrome hat. You understand? So if they sell the hat and they also maybe reduce the number of raffles that they are making. For example, if we're talking about the raffle hat, I recently just released a raffle hat collection. It's called the Earth Bloom collection. Guys, go onto IG and show some love for the Earth Bloom collection. So far we've released 2 pieces. We've released the terracotta bloom hat, and we've released the moss bloom hat. So basically this collection is guided by the colorway. The colorway that represents the earth, represents the blooming of the earth, the nature of the earth. So we have terracotta, which shows more of natural colors, earthy tones. We have the brick browns, the burnt oranges, you know, the beiges, you know, like anything that you'd walk around and just see, like the soil, the rocks, and those kind of hard earth elements. Then we have the Moss Bloom hat. The Moss Bloom hat now gives you forest vibes, yeah? It has the green, it has the olive green, it has the mint green. Now it's giving you vibes of the forest, the grass, natural, greenery, and also we have several more pieces under this collection. You need to just be, look out for it because they are coming. So I'm very excited because, guys, you are up for a treat. We'll be releasing each hat every week, so stay tuned and show some love. Make your orders. Thank you so much for the orders that you guys have given so far. I am so excited. A lot of people love the terracotta specifically, but the moss is so pretty also. And thank you so much for the orders that you're making. Keep them coming, keep them coming, keep them coming. Yes. So let's use the example of the earth bloom hat. Yeah. So let's say this person, for me, I have a pattern on how I do the pattern with the colorway and everything. So the person who is selling the hat at 1500 may not do as many raffles as I did. Probably they'll only do one line of raffles. I did 3 rows. So for the fullness of the hat and just to make it more elegant and beautiful, so the person selling it at 1500 may probably just do one raffle row, and then they definitely would use one color, because using multiple colors will cost them more money, which they don't have based off of the return on investment that they are getting out of 1500 shillings. Now you see, that is how you think about pricing. And pricing will be determined by who you're selling to. Guys, there's no way you'll ask me how much will I sell this shirt. I don't know who your target market is. I don't know which yarn type you use. I don't know the size of that person. I don't know how far that person is. Maybe they're in the US. You need to consider the shipping fee and everything. You need to consider the yarn type, if it's expensive. If you're using 100% cotton, it will definitely be very expensive, because cotton yarn is very expensive and it's very little, so you'll buy quite a lot. If you're using imported acrylic, for example, DMC Nitty 4, yes, it's bigger, but it's also more expensive than the normal. For example, if you use Winterkey, are you single stranding? Are you double stranding? If you're double stranding, you're gonna use more yarn. If you're single stranding, you'll use less yarn. Which stitch are you using? Are you using basic stitches, one of the 6 basic stitches, or are you using advanced stitches like lemon peel? So guys, if you ask someone how much should I sell this, and you're not giving them all these details, they won't be able to give you an accurate answer. They are not ChatGPT, but ChatGPT can give you a very rough estimate answer and give you even different scenarios. If you use cheap yarn, this is how. If you use this yarn, this is how much you should. If you use it, then from now on you can be able to increase or decrease depending on what you want. So pricing is very subjective, guys. You'll be surprised how subjective pricing is. You may be looking up to someone online and thinking, wow, they must be selling these things at 100,000. Then you check and you're like, oh wow, they're selling it cheaper than I am selling it, meaning I should even increase, because so people value their pieces differently. And I'm not saying someone who is selling cheaper is selling wrongly. It's just that their market is different. You may find someone is very talented and they're selling a bit lower, and you'll find someone is not that talented but they're selling higher. Probably this person who is not that talented has a higher paying market. Maybe they have contacts with NGOs and people who money is not a problem, and they are able to sell it at that price. But the person who is very talented but selling at a lower price, probably they just don't have that connection, and it's not wrong. The good thing is that everyone is making profit. So when it comes to pricing, consider all these things that I've talked about. Yeah, you cannot price the same as someone else. It's almost never possible. I'll give an example of fashion houses in Kenya. We have, shout out to these fashion houses. We have Icon, we have African Yuva, we have Silk House Collection. Whoop whoop! Shout out to Brenda. We have Silk House Collection. We have, which other fashion house? We have Vivo. All these people are selling clothes, and you'll find that most of their clothes are almost similar. Some of their clothes are made with the same fabric. You'll find that this fashion house has a palazzo. This fashion house has a palazzo. This one has a palazzo. All those palazzos are priced differently. You'll find that this one pricing it at 8,000. This one pricing it at 5,000. This one pricing it at 3,500. But you'll find probably the fabric is the same. Difference is target market, number one. Also, these people, what kind of bills do they have to pay? Now you'll find that if I am located, if my fashion house is located in Uptown or Westlands or somewhere like that, I'm paying a lot of rent. I cannot afford to price my palazzo pant at 3,500 a piece. Maybe rent ni 150K per month, and I've signed a 2-year lease. How do you expect me to make that rent with 3,500 a palazzo? No, I need to ensure I maximize the amount, because I also have fundis to pay, I have errand people to pay, I have riders to pay, I have rent to pay, I have stima, maji, to pay. That's not possible. But if I'm located in the CBD, downtown, River Road, maybe my rent is 15K, and maybe I have one fundi, and maybe stima is not that much per month. I have one rider, or I use the Uber or Bolt border people, and the client pays for the delivery. Yeah, I can afford to sell the palazzo pant at 3,500. So you see how pricing works. That's how, as a handmade business person, you need to think about it in that way. And now that yours is handmade from scratch, yeah, you're not using a sewing machine, you're not using any machine, you need to think about it. Ongeza hiyo zero. Yes, I know you're thinking about adding it, but you're hesitating. I'm telling you to add that zero. Yes, add that zero. If you're using a machine to make something, if your work has been decreased kidogo, it's okay to also reduce the amount, so that you don't price the machine made items the same way as the handmade items. However, that's subjective. It's up to you, actually. You're the owner of the business. You're the one who knows how difficult using the machine or how difficult making something by hand is. So pricing is very subjective, and that's how you're supposed to do it. And you also need to price for value and profit. Price for value and profit. Try out things. Sometimes you price something and you find that no one has bought it at all. Have you tried reducing by 500 shillings? Yeah, just tease them and say, we have a sale, we've reduced this amount by 1,000 shillings. See how it behaves, yeah? However, if someone has ever bought something, even if it's just one person, has bought something at that price, that's the price it was meant to be. Don't reduce it. Stay there, stick there, yeah? So I've already talked about identifying your target customers. That is something that's very important. Another thing with the customers is find out where they shop. Find out where your target customers shop. How important is this? It's important to find out where your target customers shop so that you can position yourself there. For example, if I am selling, my target customers are high-end customers, where do these people hang out? They hang out in Village Market, they hang out in Sarit Center, they hang out in, Gigiri, Kitusuru, they hang out in Izima areas, yeah? So find a way to position yourself there, yeah? Find a way to position yourself there so that these people brush pass by your items, pass by your ninis, yeah? So that's basically what you need to do. Find out where they shop. Let's talk about online selling and physical selling. They are not competing, but let's talk about them. So I've had experience of both. And physical selling, I'm talking about pop-up markets and all these things, like, and events where I set up a stall and sell my stuff there. Let's talk about the pros and cons. So for physical markets, especially if you're doing pop-up markets, it is like risk. You may come today, you may sell well. You may come tomorrow, you may end up selling nothing. You may come the next day, people may not come. The turnout may be bad. You may come up the other day, the turnout is good. You may come up on Saturday, the turnout is good, but you don't make any sales. You may come up on Sunday, the turnout is good, and you make good sales. So pop-up markets are like, it's a hit or miss. However, you need to maximize the most out of it. Kwa sababu most pop-up markets, you usually pay to go to the pop-up markets. You usually pay to get a table, pay to get a tent, pay to, all those things. So you need to really maximize on that. How? Number one, you need to ensure even if you don't make a sale, you've at least gained followers on your socials, or you've at least gotten engagement on your socials. How do you do this? Ensure you have QR codes where people can scan. Ensure you have your business cards. Ensure you're ready with information people can go home with, or people can like scan immediately so that they can see the other things that you do. What this does is that this makes your client relate with you before they even relate with your products. So that even if your products that day are not what they wanted, they can be like, oh, there's something I liked on your page. Can you make this? Yes, I can make this. That's exactly what you do to ensure that you get your money's worth of the table you paid for at a pop-up market or something like that. So it's important for you to really ensure that you're maximizing it. Don't be shy. When you go for markets, you need to be able to talk, you need to be able to interact with your clients, and you need to be able to sell your business as it's yours. Be proud of your business. It doesn't matter what level of the business you're in, whether you're a beginner, whether you know nothing about marketing or whatever, but just talk about it because it's yours. Yeah. So there's also the other aspect of owning a physical store or a physical shop. It still boils down to your target market. Locate your shop where your target market is. If your target market is high end and you're locating your shop in River Road, hakuna mtu ataendesha Ford yake ama Rolls Royce yake akuja kutafuta River Road huko mali watu hakuna, it's never gonna happen. Watu wanastopianga Kimathi Street kama merudi Kenyatta Avenue ndo wameenda. It doesn't work like that. Now let's talk about online selling. So online selling is the most financially friendly selling that you can get. So this would be perfect for when you're starting, because once your business gets established and it's a big business, people want to have a location there they can come on to ask questions, to see the pieces and stuff like that. So before there, you need to start somewhere. Like for me personally, let's say Ogfranit has been online for a very long time. Since I started, I've always been selling online, and any sales that I've made outside the online space has been, a referral of someone I got from online and stuff like that. So online is a good place to sell, and it's very return friendly, because you're not paying any rent, you're not paying any bills, you're not paying any cleaner of the office, you're not paying any Wi-Fi. Basically, your house is your studio, and your rooftop or balcony is your photo place. So you need to really learn how to utilize these things, and you need to have a very serious social media presence. Let people see that you're actually doing the work, that you're actually putting a lot of time and thought into what you're posting and everything that you're doing. So online selling versus physical selling, I think I would say each of them has a place. Each of them have their own place. It's not really a competition, because even after you get a physical store, you usually still maintain online presence. Yeah. So it's basically things that feed off of each other, and it's important for a business owner, a handmade business owner, to really take advantage of these things. If you're selling online, ensure you appear in pop-up markets at least once a month. Yeah. Speaking of pop-up markets, there's the Junction Mall pop-up market. There are 3 slots available. So if you wanna book, I will put a number here that you're supposed to register through, and yeah, register and cancel your stuff. Yeah, it's a good place to just start and enjoy and do so. So another thing that we need to think about when you're talking about the hustle is, let marketing not feel like you're forcing it. Hmm? Let your marketing be very intentional and very well packaged. Yeah. Let marketing not look like you're trying to drill your piece into people's throats or heads, like buy, buy, buy. Mm-mm. Take the storytelling approach. Take the calm and aesthetic kind of approach. Take your time to think about what you're posting and how you're presenting this product to your clients. Yeah. Let it not be nunua, nunua, nunua. We are not in the market. You need to ensure it is easy and it's relatable to your clients, so that they can easily buy. Don't make it look forced. Don't make it also look pushy. Tell a story about that scrunchie. Tell a story about that beanie. Tell a story about that dress that you're trying to sell. Take the people through the behind the scenes of the item you're selling. Take videos when you're making it, so that they can also relate. Oh, this is how it started. Oh, wow. The hat is complete. Oh, wow. The dress is complete. Interesting. Yeah. So that's basically how you're supposed to do it. Don't force the thing. Let it come naturally. Look at how you can make stuff for yourself, guys. In the age of AI, you can literally be guided. Tell ChatGPT, I'd like to write a story about the hat that I made. Kindly write for me a script or a video idea. It will give you everything. Now you'll play around with it, so that you can be able to, make it your own and just put your own vibe and, come up with your own names and stuff like that. So it is quite important to connect with your clients, and connecting with your clients means higher probability of sales. Now, the final thing we're going to talk about that's very important is tracking your income. So not all of us are good at that. Personally, I'm not good at that. There are times I used to use, what is it called? If you have a till number, you're able to get, what is it called? What is this thing called? Like, statement. Yeah, a statement for like the month or the year or 6 months or 3 months. So what I used to do, I used to just do the month as usual, then I get a statement, then I see, okay, this month I earned this, then I know how much is from my classes, how much is from this, how much is from this. That's not the right way to do it. The right way to do it is, you need to have maybe an app. There are several apps actually that help you track your money and help you track what comes in, what comes out. I would advise you to get into those apps and start practicing it, so that it's natural. Because sometimes you forget to key in what you've bought, or You've used Uber to go you where and come back. Sometimes you forget. Da, da, da. So you can start practicing it so that when anyone pays for anything, it's you log it in. Yeah, I wish there was a natural way to do it. Like, I don't know, connect your phone to the app so that when money comes in, it just goes into the whatever naturally. But anyway, that's a bit dangerous also. You never know hackers out here. So that's the most important thing. Track your finances and see how your business is doing. Because sometimes you might think this is supposed to be the business you're doing, but it's actually not, because it's taking more than it should return. Maybe you've been at it for like more than 1 year, and you can't hold and say this 10K I have earned from this business. But you can say that this business has cost me 200,000 shillings. Sometimes it's important to release some things. So you need to track your finances because it will help you know which direction your business is going, whether you need to stop, whether you need to change strategy, whether you need to continue and push, whether you need to invest in marketing, whether you need to invest in branding, whether you need to invest in whatever. So this is what will tell you kama biashara ina biashara ama inakubeba ufala. Yeah. So track your finances, guys. Track your finances. See how much you're buying yarn for and how much you're selling the item for. See the profit you're making. See what you're using and what you're putting back into the business. Yes, you need to be clear on that, because that clarity is what will give you the next step forward of how to improve your business, and you'll be able to apply all these other things that you've talked about, and you'll be able to like improve your general business plan, general business sales, general business marketing, and everything in between. So yeah, that was it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed talking about it. I really enjoy talking about business and crochet and knitting, because that's where I thrive. That's where, like, the last 10 years have just been me figuring out Ogfranit as a business, figuring out how I can expand, figuring out how I can do better. And talking about this with you is really fulfilling to me, because it makes me feel like I'm sharing what I've learned, I'm sharing what I know so far. And guys, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Thank you so much for the love you've shown on the podcast and also on YouTube. So follow us on Spotify. Be sure to follow, guys. Follow. Hapo kwa follow, tunalala kidogo. Let's follow, let's like, let's comment, and let's share. And then on YouTube, feel free to comment. Ensure you've subscribed. Guys, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We are at 920 something. So guys, I know you can fill that up within the week. Yeah, let August end with us hitting 1,000 follow subscribers on YouTube, guys. So this is episode 5. It will be going up next week. I'm filming this on Wednesday. I uploaded episode 4 yesterday, so this will go up next week, Tuesday. Yeah, so I hope you guys will enjoy, have a lovely time, book classes if you're interested in classes, because I do classes, I do group classes. Let me take this opportunity to do the shameless plug, guys, before I go. Number one, I do group classes at Sarit Center at a shop called Institutes. It's on first floor, old wing of Sarit Center. Yeah, just opposite DTB Bank. So book classes. These are the schedules of August. The schedule of September will come out on time. Number two, I also do private classes. So for private classes, it's a bit more expensive because, of course, I have to come to you and I'm only teaching one kid. Yeah, so you have to add more price, a larger price. For the group classes, I usually teach 4 to 6 kids. So that's why it's more affordable, because I'm making a lot of money at once. But for the private classes, it will be more expensive per child, because I'm only teaching your child. Yeah, and you also need to cater for my Uber fee from your place to my place. So it depends. Actually, it depends on where you stay. Yeah, the further you stay from where I stay, the more the Uber money will cost and stuff like that. But if you book like a longer period of time at once, I usually give you a discount because I understand I understand everyone is trying their best to do what they can to survive. So yeah, so book your classes and make your orders. Our collection is out on IG. You will see all the details. If you want to buy, if you want to make an order, I got you. We got you. So have a lovely time, guys. See you in the next episode. Bye.